Hello, my name is Reshma, and I'm a junior at UT Dallas. So I'm so glad I got the opportunity today through Viva Volunteer and our honors program to engage with you and share something that I did back in high school and I think could be really fun. So, what we're going to be doing is a personality test. It's actually called the Cube test. Maybe you've heard of it before. It was developed by a Japanese psychologist to basically just get a quick insight into your personality. And of course, as with all personality tests, this may not end up being a true reflection of who you are, but it's always just fun to try. So, all you need is a little imagination. You don't need a pencil or paper, there's nothing for you to write down. So, all I ask is in the next couple of minutes, just close your eyes, imagine a few scenarios, and at the end, I'll tell you what you imagined and what that means. So, we're going to start by closing our eyes. Feel free to use visual images in your mind and trust your instincts. So let's begin. First, imagine you're in a desert. The desert is incredibly large. Sitting in the desert is a cube. Do you see it? How big is the cube? Where exactly is it? Is it buried in the sand? Or is it sitting on top? What is it made of? Let's continue. Where your cube is, there is now a ladder. How long is the ladder? Where is it in relation to the cube? Is it beside it? Under it? Leaning on it? Or over it? Now that you can see the ladder, we will move on. A horse has now appeared in the desert. What does the horse look like to you? Where is the horse? Is it beside the cube, away from it, taking shelter from it? Is the horse freely roaming or tied up? What color is the horse? Let that scene play in your mind for a moment. You now see flowers. Where are they in your desert vision? Are they close to everything or far away? How many flowers do you see? Where are they in relation to your cube? Finally, we're at your last visualization. There is a storm brewing. Is it near or far? Is it affecting your horse, flowers, or cube? Is it windy and raining? Dark and cloudy? How is the storm affecting your vision? So at this point, you should see the desert, the cube, the ladder, the horse, the flowers, and the storm. Let a clear vision play in your mind of what you have imagined. Okay, Now that you are done imagining, keep that image clear in your mind, and we're going to go over what all of that meant. So the cube represents you. So the size represents your ego. So if it's really big, it means you are pretty confident and you have a big ego. And if it's small, it can represent that you recognize your place in the world and that there are other things also there. The material represents your feelings or your personality. So if it's smooth or soft, you're kind-hearted and passionate. If it's rough, you're straightforward and honest. And transparent can also mean that you're open and honest. Bumpy can mean that you're indecisive at times, but very strong-willed. And if it's made out of wood, it can mean you're down to earth. And how light or dark it is represents how heavy you feel with burdens. So another thing is how you think about the cube is how you think about yourself. So if your cube is very strong, then you also feel very strong. And finally, the distance. So think about where your cube was compared to where you were in your imagination. If it was close to you, it means you feel close to your inner self. And if it was far away, it means you don't feel so close to your inner self. So that was what the cube meant. Now let's look at the ladder. So your ladder represents your goals. So the longer your ladder is, the bigger scale of goals you have. And the shorter it is, the more simple your goals are. And where it is in relation to the cube is also important. So think about where it was in your imagination. If it was close to your cube, that means you're focusing more effort on currently investing in your goals. And if your ladder is leaning on your cube, you may have a big goal to achieve. And if it's over the cube, you may feel your goals are too hard to achieve or you don't have what you need. And if it's under your cube, you are someone who likes to be on top of things, but can become too independent and not ask for help. So that was what the cube and ladder meant. Now let's look at your horse. So the horse represents your ideal partner. So if your horse is strong and hardworking, then that means you want somebody dependable. And if the horse was close to your cube, then you're someone who needs a strong connection to your partner. If your horse was in the distance, then maybe you feel detached from relationships or you feel strongly independent in them. If your horse is beautiful, then you have a love that is beautiful on all levels, or you desire a love that is true. If your horse was sheltered by the cube, then you are dependable and desire the same qualities in others as you have in yourself. And if your horse was tied up, then you or your partner may be feeling trapped or stuck in the same old, and you may want more real connection. So basically, the overall impression of the horse reflects the impression you have of your partner. Then we have the flowers. So the flowers represent your family and friends. So the number of flowers determines your connections and how close you are to them. So a bunch of flowers may mean you have a lot of close friends you rely on. And some rows of flowers suggest that maybe you have levels of connections. Some have stayed and some have gone. And the location determines how close you are. So if it's close to your cube, you're pretty close to them. But if it's far away, maybe you're not as close anymore. And the color could also describe your current feelings toward them. And finally, the storm. So the storm represents the obstacles in your life. So if the storm is close to the cube, then you're probably experiencing some emotional, mental, and hard situations right now, which is totally understandable. And if the storm is in the distance, Then you may have overcome many challenges and will continue towards victory. And if the storm passes through in your imagination, then it shows that you can handle anything that comes your way. And if it's out of control, that may suggest what you're feeling right now. Well, I hope you had fun. Again, at the end of the day, it's just a personality test. It may not really be a reflection of who you are, but I hope that it was interesting and fun for you. And I hope you also know that in these times, I'm thinking of you and I'm hoping you're doing well. I know it's super difficult right now, but I'm confident that together we can get through this. So have a great rest of your day. Bye.